Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. We got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. And I think it's very important we have this show before the end of the year because this show covers a subject matter that I think is very needed, especially with men, young men, and also, especially me being I think African American mentor to young black men.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I think a lot of young black men struggle with from an issue standpoint, and that's personal accountability. Tonight
Right.
we're talking about does anyone have personal accountability? And I think it's very a subject matter that a lot of times we don't really go over and everything like that because many times for whatever reason people let peers, family members, and their children get away with a lot of things because they don't probably want to hold themselves, the kids, for whatever reason, accountable. So again, we're gonna have tonight's show. We're talking about does anyone have personal accountability?
Right.
Again tonight, the show is Change Your Life, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. If you want to call in there to the conversation, the call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number is 678-740-9894. Before we get started, I want to introduce my awesome producers, DJ Lab.
What's going on, brother? Another Thursday.
Fantastic. Best day of the week,
Best
my
day
brother.
of the week.
Yes,
from what I heard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. How was your weekend? How was
Man,
your week?
Everything been cool so far, man.
Right.
Everything been cool so far. I'll share with everybody. I had my first colonoscopy, And I share that with people because I will say I was very nervous before I did it. But to anybody that's over the age of 45, they have I think the new measures came back. It used to be 50. But I share that with anybody that say that, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because I was very nervous prior to doing it because I do have a family history of colon cancer and everything like that. So it was just regular, just part of the physical follow-ups and everything. But everything came back good to go. So I would challenge anybody, if you are in those age brackets, to go ahead and do it. So
me,
yeah,
I'm nervous about getting it done, but I got it scheduled. Getting it scheduled. But yeah, that's something we definitely need to get as part of our personal accountability. We definitely need to get that taken care of before it's too late. And I'm one of the main ones who've been scared to do it, man. I'm scared to do the whole anesthesia part.
Let me tell you something. That was probably from the moment I'm talking about sat down, poked me, this, that, and that in my arm, whatever. I'm 10 seconds I was asleep.
10 seconds you sleep.
And I woke up next thing, I'm waking up. Hey man, everything's good to go.
Oh, really?
Labs, smooth.
Okay.
Smooth, my brother. And I wasn't even, folks like lethargic, sleeping, all that stuff like that didn't happen. Now everybody have different experiences.
Right.
Poochie didn't have a bad experience. So like I said, I just want to just share that with people because a lot of us, especially as brothers, we don't stay on top of a lot of things. But I just want to share that with everybody. We're doing it. So definitely make sure you do your annual physicals, colonoscopies, all that kind of stuff. I'm not old enough to do the what's the prostate yet, and everything like that. But just really just staying up and up with everything, right? So definitely guys want to do it. So also say what's up to mother producer Slick 316. What's up, Reek?
Always in the building.
And also got a special guest in the studio tonight. Got my baby boy, Mr. William Burden. Will be up in here tonight.
Will be.
What's up, Will? Will's gonna add to the conversation. This is his first time going live with me. First, but definitely won't be the last. But I thought it'd be pretty insightful to have William part of the show tonight to add to the conversation in regards we talk about personal accountability because William's a young man, a young black man, but also my son. So I know I talk a lot about different things that I may say dealing with mentoring other people with my children. So get his perspective in regards to how you feel about certain things because at one point I was 13, like me and both of us was 13 years old at one time, and we didn't see the world the same way that we do now. And so when we were probably getting caught on task about certain things and being accountable about certain tasks, we didn't look at it the same way. So that's why, I thought it was pretty good to have Will be in the studio tonight to add to the conversation. Again, we're talking about, does anyone have personal accountability? The call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number is 740-9894. You guys know Change Lives. We talk about motivation, personal development, professional development, being a parent, all kind of motivation stuff. Right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Changing Lives YouTube channel where we have over 800 videos covering those particular subject matters. So definitely, whatever platform you're looking at, definitely go to the YouTube channel. Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. You see the blue man icon. Subscribe to the channel just in case you have to leave in the middle of the show or anything. But definitely call in if you have anything that you want to add to the conversation tonight. And again, we're talking about, does anyone have personal accountability? Personal accountability is a crucial aspect of individual development and overall well-being. It refers to the recognition of one's responsibilities and the willingness to take ownership of one's actions, decisions, and their consequences. The importance of personal accountability can be observed in various aspects. And I want to talk about that. Some of the key things I want to discuss tonight being self-development, interpersonal relationships, professional success, adaptability, resilience, and health and well-being. These are a lot of things I think people miss out from a personal standpoint, but I definitely want to go over this subject matter tonight because I think this is really, really something we need to touch on before year's end.
Right.
Okay. So, lad, when you hear the term personal accountability, what comes to mind with you?
Taking responsibilities for your words, actions, and really words and actions, really, because actions encompass everything.
Yeah.
So your words, actions, pretty much. You just take responsibility, bad or good.
Yeah. We all talk about consequences.
Right.
Ain't necessarily gotta be bad. Consequences, good or bad, just really the the result of the action you took. What about you, brother? When you hear about personal accountability, what comes to mind? It's not right or wrong, but what do you feel about when you hear the term personal accountability? What comes to mind? If I say, son, you gotta be accountable for this, what comes to mind when you hear that?
I think when people say that, I think they just mean that I think they, like when they say that, I think they're telling you to be more honest about when something happens.
Honestly. Okay. Cool. Good answer. When I hear the whole thing about personal accountability, I use the term I stress a lot of times, just owning it. You did it, just gonna own it. I, like anybody else, I don't like being wrong. And that could be just something I said, something I done or whatever. But I'm real big on just own it.
So do you think accountability and responsibility are the same, or they're two different things?
Two different things. Responsibility means you can actually do something.
Okay.
You're in charge. You're able to do it. Accountability, be able to suffer the consequences if something go wrong with something you're responsible for.
Okay, so I'm going to change mine. Mine is to be, because I thought they were kind of two in the same. I didn't really think about it that hard. Accountability, being responsible for your words and actions. So I'm put responsibility for those.
I say all the time, lab, everybody wants responsibility, nobody wants accountability.
Right.
We want to be able to do what we want to do,
right?
But we don't want to be able to, take what comes along if things don't work out.
Exactly.
Right. So those one of the things, I think a lot of stuff. My high school coaches, and I'm share some stories, even especially in the military. Everything, so much stuff rooted in accountability.
Right.
So I'm a stickler with that. Sometimes I probably overdo it, and William probably can attest to some of the stuff, probably dad get on his nerves. He's told me several times.
Right.
Those are the terms I don't get on. You don't say I get on his nerve. What do you say I always do what? No, just say you don't say I get on your nerve. What's the term you use all the time? I'm annoying.
Annoying.
That's what he says. What you say? You're annoying, Dad. That's what he always tell me. I'm annoying.
Is it because he says the same thing over and over and you already understand what he means?
Yeah, most times.
Like he said, Will, did you do this? And you like, yeah, Dad, I did. And then he come back and say, Dad, Will, did you do this? And he's like, yes, Dad, I did that already.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think a lot of times that he may say that because he doesn't trust you, or he doesn't know if you really done it or not by the tone of your action, by the tone of your answer?
I think it's both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's an extra.
Speaking, why do you think it's both? Go speak into the mic. Talk to
me loud. Sit up. Talk.
Don't even worry about the camera. Just talk to me.
I don't know. I really don't know. I just think from experiences, It's been kind of like a mixture of both.
Oh, okay. So is it experiences because there's been times he's asked you and you haven't done it, and you say you have, or is it because he just don't trust you to get it done on his time frame?
Yeah, on his time frame.
Okay, you're gonna do it, but you might be, skipping along at instead of running.
Yeah, he tells me I want to slow stuff. Well, that's mostly with my mom, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, I can't do nothing but respect it. All right.
One of the biggest things I think that I have somebody close to me that's they right now they incarcerated.
Uh-huh.
And I got a phone call recently, and I was just getting a call going through mail. Poochie. This probation officer, this mother, this, that, and that,
right.
talking about them, and they was just going on this rant, and I'm listening. They're in jail, and they were just saying how the probation officer didn't do this. They were hating on them, and that's this, that, and they were talking. And I just say for a moment, hey, listen, I listened to you talk about 2 or 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard you talk about they, she just or whatever. I ain't heard you say one time I.
Right.
Have you ever thought about when you out here free and clear, just doing the right thing so you don't be in these situations?
Right.
And it's like they didn't even want to engage in that thought process.
They didn't want to have that conversation.
Exactly.
Okay.
And a lot of times it's easy for people to put things off of themselves and put it on other people because they don't want to be accountable for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say a lot of times when I talk to people, and I love being a coach, because I always tell people all the time, man, get your pronouns together.
Mm-hmm.
He, she, they, them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when is it going to be I?
Right. Right.
Because Lab, I can't control what Lab does, but I can't control what William does. I can't control what I do.
Right.
Right. And so those kind of things, I think that the earlier you can instill that in people, the better off they can be.
Mm-hmm.
Especially young men. Everybody needs to have a dose of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
But when we start looking at just being realistic from a leadership standpoint, from a community, you need to have your men leading. Right. If your men are always deflecting, we didn't have this, I didn't have this, society, product of my environment. It's always something else.
Product of my environment. I hate that I hate that term. I'm sorry, I mean, because I hate it with a passion. I hate it with a passion. And I'm going to tell you why I hate the term a product of my environment. But first, Lerone McGee says this is a great topic for the show. We need to talk about this in our black neighborhoods, cause and effect of our actions. He said that's what he thinks of accountability. Oh. My thing is, I say I hate the word product of my environment because I was in an environment that I could have been a product of, but I chose to do better and I chose to do differently. I'm not saying that everybody will have that, everybody will do that, but I think that if you are a product of your environment, you chose to let the environment be in you and not you be in the environment. Absolutely. You get what I'm saying? That's a choice, I think, a lot of time.
Well, see, here's the thing about it, though, Lab, at the end of the day, it's easy to say that because, again, that's just to get things off for you. But on the flip side of it is, it amazes me sometimes because, some people just not going to be able to adjust society.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with, some chemical that might be off. Right. But when I was sitting there, it's funny you had this conversation I was listening to a couple weeks ago when we talked about what was the rapper D whatever the light skin guy with the dreads, but they was talking about he was criticizing Rick Ross and Meek Mill them about the lyrics and stuff, and then they was on 107 on the Beehive show. Okay, and Turk asked the guy, he said, "Don't you think sometimes product of the environment?" And the guy, I hate forgetting the messing brother's name up. But the guy D said that he said Turk asked him do you think they might be products of their environment? He was talking about Rick Ross. He said, man, that's a 47-year-old man. And see, here's the thing about it though, Lab. There's no doubt in my mind that these same men go, these people with products of their environment, it's amazing how when they get in jail, or even those artists may be getting into an executive office, all that shit out the window. Right. It's good behavior. Right. You don't have to tell them what to say. Hell, it might be some yes sir, no sir stuff. Right. It's amazing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Police pull folks over. Yes sir, no sir. Why this, that, and then everybody being sensible, want to have a conversation. Right. Where did shit come from?
And Rick Ross is a product of his. I'm quite sure they want to say he's a product of his environment, but at the same time, when he bought Wingstop, he wasn't a product of his environment.
Yeah. Now again, that man didn't say that. Okay. He didn't say that. Okay. He didn't. Rick Ross didn't say that. This is what was added, just somebody else saying it. Okay. But example, still the example. Okay. Because there was being portrayed with that that these guys may be saying, products of the environment. But that's the thing about it. We gotta get out of that shit.
Well, at what point do we stop becoming a product of the environment and just take, like you say, accountability for our actions?
Well, see, that's the thing. Where I want to have that conversation tonight, because far too often we want to have certain kind of results, but we don't want to sit here and go through the uncomfortable stuff to make certain things happen. And what I would always go back to when I was coaching football, and kids would make a mistake. You'd be like, "Hey, son, you know what you did?" And they were like, "Well, coach, I didn't miss this. I didn't miss this block, and I ran the right way." And I always started off, listen, going back to my main statement, which I talk about accountability. Son, you got to own it. Until you own it, say, "Coach, I messed up."
Right.
We can't fix it.
Right.
See, like, I can sit here and say all the time, me and William get into it all the time. And I'm not tripping on William. It's the same thing with his other three brothers. We're talking, son, did you do this, that, and that? And I always say the same thing. William can add to. William, you got to admit to it. Until you admit to it, and tell that kid, the coach, we can't fix it.
Right.
Because you might have made a mistake because you didn't know. You might have made a mistake because I didn't explain what I wanted the right way.
Right.
But we got to admit what happened. And then from that point, we can move on. And people, for whatever reason, don't want to look bad in their mind. They don't want to be wrong or whatever. And sometimes it may not, like I said, it may not necessarily be that you're wrong. We know an error happened. Could be from you caused it, information, whatever, but nobody want to sit here and go through that.
Right.
Once you can just be honest with that, then you can do the corrective measure with doing certain things. And I think that's the toughest part of it, when you got to own it. When you got to own it, and especially when you know that you got to own certain things, your movements change. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you might feel embarrassed. You got to explain yourself, do that. Because, man, it's going to come back on me. As a father, and I damn sure ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I know that a lot of my actions affect other people outside of me. Right. I can't do certain things.
Right.
And I feel like I can honestly say, you tell me if I'm wrong, I ain't really did nothing to embarrass my kids in public.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm very mindful of that. I can go do some things I'd embarrass you in public. What the hell are you thinking about?
While you thinking, say, hey, your grandmama. Hey, your mama.
Hey, grandma.
Hey, mom, what's going on? But I'm very mindful of, when I do certain things, that my actions affect other people.
Right.
And that's just a me thing, right? And I think a lot of times when people sit there and start looking at that, your actions can affect your family, your employment, your reputation, all kind of stuff like that. I think people may move differently. I'm human. Right. I get mad just like the next person.
Right.
I got a damn temper, and I know what triggers me and whatever. Sometimes you have to move out and back up. Especially we've talked about it a lot of times. You got things to lose. You gotta think sometimes. About certain things. I'm in different organizations. I was at a high school. I can talk about it now. Over a month ago, a kid started acting, saying some choice words to me. He wasn't even in the group I was mentoring.
He was in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was just coming out trying to fight one other kid. I tried to talk to him. One of the educators there, he come twisting down the hall.
Oh, Lord.
Y'all saying that to the students. I'm like, look, man, and I'm about to lose.
Right.
Not because I had no problem with the man was acting. I had a problem because he didn't say that to the kid.
Okay, he came straight to you.
He said something to me. I understand that I'm a visitor in the school. They got to protect. I get that part. But he never said nothing to that kid. And that's the thing about it. And that's the reason why I say this is because when you want people to be mentors and come talk to people, people can't help you the way you want them to help you. The way that someone has to help you is just maybe that way. You can't dictate how somebody's going to do it.
Right. You can say, help me up to this line.
Yeah, help you that line. Because we sit here and talk, me and Will to talk sometimes. He said, Daddy, but Daddy, you said it this way. You didn't have to. You didn't. Now, my message is my message. Sometimes you ever talk to people and folks will say, well, it sound like you when you said it, it sound like this.
Right.
Or sometimes the way you was talking, it came off like that. What I would tell you, like, no, what the hell I said is what I said.
Right.
No.
The delivery.
Damn how you take it. Yeah. What I said was English.
Right.
I didn't say Espanol, no Francais. I said what the hell I said.
Right.
And you take it how you want to take it.
Right.
But what I said was I said, and people just don't want to just be honest with them. Say like, hey, we're doing it. And far too often that really starts a lot of growth and the personal development of a lot of people.
But to be honest with you, on my point, and Will be, you can chime in here when I say this. Sometimes the delivery does create friction because the tone may be a certain way, and I may be thinking, well, man, you ain't got to really, say it like I'm gonna do it, but you ain't got to be all angry about it or whatever. Even though you may not be angry, but the tone gives angry, and we may be thinking it's not really even that serious. Like, I'm gonna do it, Dad, or I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the tone in the delivery, even though the message is the same, regardless of how you deliver it, the message is the same, but the tone itself creates friction because now I'm defensive because the way you didn't deliver it to me, and I'm gonna stop up against the wall with your friction. And you know what I'm saying? Just that's why when people say you can't really get this message over text, you get what I'm saying? Because text doesn't display emotion or don't when you send somebody a text, it doesn't really give the emotions of how you're really feeling about the message that you're sending. You get what I'm saying? So do you feel like that's like, it may not be what he's saying, but his tone may be, you know what I'm saying? Like, he may say, well, B, why you didn't do your homework? And you like, Dad, I did do my homework. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be because he's mad at you that you didn't do your homework, or he don't think you did your homework. He may just had a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like that may be the delivery? Talk to the mic, my friend.
Yeah, I think most of it is just how, like, how he says it, or like how it might be. Like when he like just starts yelling at me saying that I need to do this and do that. Yeah, that does kind of throw me off a little bit and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I do think it's mostly the tone and how he just tells me and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. As a 13-year-old, when I was 13, too, with long. I can't even stress how long ago this was when I was 13. But I could get what you're saying, because when I was that young, I was actually a terror. I was not as pleasant as you are as a young man. I was actually a terror. But even the delivery from me being how I was could rub me the wrong way. My grandma could say something, and I'd be like, man, why she talking to me like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it might not be a big deal to me, but I guess it's a bigger deal enough to her to where she delivered it like that. And I may not be getting the understanding of how important it is to her that I get this done so we can move to the next thing.
I think that's a great point, and I'll say this. William's 13, my oldest son 29. Me with my oldest son at 13, I was a different person because younger father, and I would be so more focused on the message than the delivery. I'm human, and William would say that, you tested this. If I overdid something I'm wrong, as a man, I go back to Will. Hey man, my fault, dog. I ain't mean it that way. That's straight up. And that's one of the biggest things I do teach in my household. If you're wrong, hey bro, I ain't mean to yell at with that. I know I'm definitely not what I was a couple years ago. But let me say this too. If you still know you damn wrong,
right?
The way I gave you that message, and I asked you what the hell are you doing or what the F going on,
right?
You still know you were wrong,
right?
Just because you didn't like how I addressed the situation does not diminish the fact you knew you were damn wrong. And see, that's the kind of stuff, me and him can sit here and rap about that because he's my youngest and he's probably getting the best daddy possible because I'm way more seasoned from when with the other three boys.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he still knows if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Right.
Damn how I came to you. Now, I'm man enough to sit here and say, now, am I wrong? Hey, dog, I ain't mean to do that. My bad, or whatever, this, that, and that. I'm man enough. I own it. But at the end of the day, bro, you still didn't damn do what the hell you supposed to do.
And I'm gonna tell you, Will, it doesn't change because we want our children to be accountable for what they do. We want them to be responsible for their actions. My children are in their 30s. Right now, today, I text my daughter. She told me she don't talk to her brother. And I text her, I was like, hey, y'all gonna have to squash all that old bull. You know what I'm saying? Like, BS, that's not. And I said it in the tone. And I know I did. To the point she said, Daddy, I'm sorry. You're right. I don't want to upset you. We do need to get it together.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it never, because as parents, we never want to see our children go through things we go through. So sometimes we emphasize things so hard because we know it's a better way to do it. You get what I'm saying? We're not delivering a message to you because we're mad at you. We're delivering a message because we love you and we don't want you to do the same things or go down the same paths as everyone else does. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think to the point, down the road we're going down, I think it's a great point bringing up in regards to like, hey, when your message gets sent out and there's more focus from the person that's receiving it with my delivery.
Mm-hmm.
He can be intimidated or be upset because I'm yelling, but I do have a great point, but it's lost because of the delivery. I say this to say that people have to understand, even as a younger person, you're not always going to be privy to get somebody giving you, a smooth delivery.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. I do think that from a leadership standpoint, well, other side as a parent, we do want to be mindful of how we sending this information out. We all human.
Right.
I would advise any parent that, to step back for a second and chill before you address certain situations, and be mindful of that your message can get lost.
In translation.
Yeah, in translation, because you're so damn mad and that come over. But we're human.
Right.
But that does be because, again, inherently, most of the time they do know what they did wrong. But it may be a situation I didn't know, Dad. Dad, I thought I did it right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that to happen. Right. If you know they know,
like
that can make you a little bit more furious in
right.
regards to everything with doing it. So that is one thing that I would tell any parent or anybody in leadership, especially with younger folks. Because we're talking about tonight, show talking about they didn't want to have personal accountability. Take a step back before you address certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
That can be with your children, anybody you're mentoring, leadership and roles at work or whatever. You need to make sure that you take some kind of time with doing it. Let me ask you a question though, dog. You young man was doing it, and I give my 2 bits on it. When you know you're wrong, you didn't do something, and it is addressed by somebody, not just me, might be a teacher, coach, or whatever. Are you naturally like, okay, I'm finna own it? Are you kind of reserved with admitting it? Well, what is your feelings when something you're wrong, but and it's brought to you, you didn't address it on the front end? What is your natural reaction to it, or it varies?
I'd say my natural reaction to it is just like, your honest opinion about it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, most times I really just don't care. Like times like in class and stuff, my teachers get mad at me for daydreaming and stuff. But it's like I try to work on it most times. It's just I just get bored and everything, and it's just not that. I just get lost and bored. And I mean, like last year in 6th grade, it was just time like when the teacher was walking around the class and everything, and I was like daydreaming. She had like took my notebook and showed it to like the whole class and stuff. It had like a bunch of drawings in it, and like everybody started had like everybody in my class had to start like laughing, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. So it's kind of just.
I get it.
Yeah.
But did you, at the end of the day, would that happen, that embarrassed you, got you mad? But did you still say to yourself, man, I knew I was wrong? Or you just totally forgot, damn, I'm wrong. She shouldn't have did that.
Yeah, I knew I was wrong, but I think they could approach it in a different way.
Now, do you understand, and that's a great point you're bringing up, do you understand the whole point of it is the way people correct certain things, you're not necessarily privy to this to determine it. Like you saying, she could have handled that in a better way, which I don't disagree with you with that. But you understand in life, as a young person, everybody's not going to solve things or handle situations the way you deem to be probably the best way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's just, fair, unfair, like it or don't like it. I just want you to understand that everybody ain't gonna handle it the way you handle it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You see sometimes with police interactions, this, some of the most common things. And I see a lot of times somebody wrestling with kids, sometimes the schools. I seen a video, I think Rick posted one, kid back and forth with a cop slammed the kid on the head. Everybody in the comments, excessive force, this, that, and that. Me personally, hell, I don't know how the hell I would handle it.
Right.
Especially the person that dealt with kids. And I think you can't, I'm a firm believer, you can't hope people gonna do right when you're doing wrong. Now, somebody shoot you in the back, you got your hands up, get shot, that's a different thing.
Right.
But should you have been stealing? When you're in the commission of a crime,
right.
Can you really, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm saying when your stuff getting corrected and stuff like that, don't put yourself in a position where you hope somebody's going to do something the right way when you're doing something wrong. That makes sense. Yeah. You know, I mean, really, do it make sense what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, but I don't think mine's was.
No, yours wasn't there. No, yours wasn't there to make to the way we talk about.
That's right.
We're just speaking. No. I didn't mean it that way. I'm just saying to you in regards to somebody, you know, teacher showing you stuff. No, she shouldn't have did that.
Yeah,
but at the end,
they say embarrassing him, ain't it?
Yeah. No. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that try your best. That's any of us to not put ourselves in a situation where I got to deal with this. I'm hoping this person is mature enough not to do it that way.
Right.
But shit, that's just my hope. Right. Yeah. And those kind of things. And see,
that's just the human aspect of things. You know, you try to do right, and you hope by you doing right, other people will do you right. But everybody's human. Everybody has a different response to everything that they do. Everybody sees things differently. Whereas you may see, you know, again, you may see that stealing was not good. That next person may be like, stealing's how I get by. You get what I'm saying? Like, everybody gonna some people will justify the reasons why they do things. Not to say it's right or wrong. It's just how we are as human beings. We are human. We have human things. We do human things. A lot of times we do things without thinking. Like when your dad say he talks to you, a lot of times we don't listen to listen. We listen to respond. So we already on guard, because when your dad says to you, like say if I work for your dad, he said, Lee, I'm like, oh man, what do you want now? You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it in my mind because I know how he is, man. And so I'm start shifting through my mind as he's coming to me to talk to me like, oh, I did that right. I know I did that right. What do you want? He couldn't want. I ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm defensive because now I've told myself the reason why he's coming to me and calling me is because I'm automatically saying I did something wrong, and that may not even be what he's calling me for. He may be saying, "Hey Lee, let me talk to you a minute," and I'm like, Then when he gets to me, like, man, you did a great job today. You know what I'm saying? But we automatically think it's something wrong about to happen because somebody's, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's approaching us or wants to have a conversation with us, but it may not even be necessarily anything bad.
Yeah, and that's kind of a funky spot, because a lot of times that might be rooted in the person messing with you. It might be because your ass doing shit a lot of times you ain't supposed to be damn doing. You know what I mean? So you kind of like, you know, call your kids, hey, what you doing? I did something. What I do?
Right.
Bro, I just want to say, hey, the hell you doing? You know, so those kind of things happen. I know with me personally, just I don't like being wrong, so I try to go out of my way to make sure that I got things in the right way. And even sometimes, you know, even just being a father, I'm responsible, you know, to some extent, you know, things with my children. Right now, William being the youngest, he's at that phase of when you become a teenager, where, you know, I talk about the younger they are, the more control the parent has. The older they got, the less control we have. He's at that point now. I can't stay. We had these conversations. I can't stay on you. We're at a point now is more of a counselor, guide. You know, I'm still the authority, but it's counselor as opposed to, you know, boom, 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 like like you're 3 or 4 years old. Now I give you the task, and I'm gonna overlook it, but I'm not gonna stand over you no more. Right. And I'm gonna trust you to get it done.
That's part of personal development.
Exactly. Right. And then, you know, you go to that next phase where, you know, young adolescents, young person. Now we have expectations, and if you have questions, come ask me. Right. So we at that phase now. We sit here and talk like, hey, dog, look, this is what I'm expecting. You know, you got any questions? If you don't know how to do it, holler at me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you don't do it, that's when we're gonna have a problem. I always tell them, man, you want me to shut the hell up? Just do what you're supposed to do. You want dad to shut the hell up? I see that look he give me. You really want me to shut the hell up? He didn't say nothing to me. Do what you got to do.
Right.
You know, am I right or wrong? But what I'm saying, I always will say, dog, if you don't know, holler at me.
Right.
Holler at me. And that's where, you know, our relationship and his maturation as a young man got to go. And those kind of things, I think that especially when I go to these schools and stuff like that, I never did any kind of mentoring in the jails and stuff like that. I've seen enough videos and I've heard enough damn people for certain things. They bring up all kind of reasons why. But that's one of the biggest things. That's why we having this conversation because, like right now, I know a lot of people probably looking on different aspects, different channels. Folks don't want to chime in because it's always somebody else instead of their decisions, right? And sometimes we can all look back at, man, I was 13, 14, 20, whatever, young. Why you do this, why you do that, it ain't no logical reason. I was stupid, you know what I'm saying?
I know a lot of things when I was
absolutely. So we all grow and mature with doing certain things, but those same things ain't expected as you get older. There are 8-year-old mistakes you shouldn't be making at 17. Right. There are 17-year-old mistakes you shouldn't be making at 27.
That's true.
Or 37 or 47. So those kind of things, just no. So that's why I want to sit and have these conversations because far too often people get stuck in those kind of ruts where they're always spin it off. And one of the biggest reasons why, let's keep it real, is because of parents.
Right.
Parents, I've said it all the time, man. And I ain't finna come up like I'm damn Cliff Huxtable. I think I did all right. I think I do okay. And I ain't but I am very scared, just like any other parent. If I let my kids go through stuff, I'm I get frightened just like anybody else. But I know my biggest fear is a grown ass man living in my house,
not knowing what to do.
William knows just like all of them. You gotta get the hell out of here 2 weeks after you graduate. He know the rule. Right. But William getting prepped for that.
Work at college.
Hey, hold on. Hell on, And again, that doesn't mean that, I'm so dang stuck in my ways. I wouldn't work with him, whatever. But the thought process is be building yourself up to be able to lead the nest. And the other three, they ain't had no problem leaving. They're ready to go and they're doing it. But with that said, people, a lot of times with parents I've seen, they don't want to let their kids go through stuff because they afraid to see them.
You got parents letting their kids stay with them till they 27, 20, 25, 27 years old. You know what I mean?
But let's talk about it. We're having this conversation tonight about personal accountability. Guys, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, the call in number 678-740-9894. Because we've had them conversations with people like, what's too old? And people throw out numbers, whatever. My question has always been the same thing. If you say, listen, I think, because I heard we talked about this maybe a year or so ago. Like black folks, I want to put their kids out. I think it's fair 25, 26, 11 move out. My question is still the same. What are you going to teach them from 18 to 25 that you can teach them from 0 to 18?
Right.
What extra are you going to teach them?
Right.
That's just my question. Again, I just don't know. A lot of times, people just scared to let them see them go through stuff.
Right.
I remember when I was stationed in Germany, my two son, Debo might be listening. Debo and you saw the boast. And Debo said something stuck with me. I was probably about 19, 20 years old. And I never really thought about it. We was in somewhere in Germany in one of those damn, I got a term, but it was like they had a lot of little guest houses where they, make the homemade beer and schnapps and stuff. Right. But we was all just sitting there chatting. He was, he was the OG. Talk to what's say? No, it's like a hotel, like guest houses. Not a hotel. But it was we were just sitting there just chopping. He was just being an OG talking to the young guys. And he said, Poochie, man, we were just talking about just growing up. He said, have you ever thought about how scared your parents was to let you leave, and then not to let you leave, to let you come over here to the other side of the world? He said, and I never ever thought about, I always would look at my ass was scared leaving, coming to Germany at 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought about how frightening
they were.
Right? I never thought about that, man. And that helped me a lot in my development, because like when T left, went to school, I was scared. I was more nervous with Torian. Probably that was my oldest, first time doing it. I ain't give a damn with PJ or Chris, to be totally honest with you. Right. Probably felt they were a little bit more grounded than T and everything we're doing it. But I never really thought about how frightening that was. Because I remember, my granddad raised me, he was old school. Right. And I remember
always was.
Yeah. And I remember when I would leave and go with a recruiter, he gave me a bell hug and squeezed me. He ain't never hugged me, folks.
Right.
Where this come from? I ain't get no love you. I ain't get no this, that, and that. And I ain't get none of that shit. And he squeezing me and shaking. I'm like, what's going on, granddaddy? And he was scared.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He done had me since I was a week old, and now you sitting there like he gotta let me go to the other side of the world. It was scary.
War may break out.
Exactly. Yeah, the war was breaking out.
Right.
I had to go to Boston. This this 95, man.
Okay.
Clinton was loading us up.
Okay.
So, I look at that, and those kind of things. I think a lot of times folks don't want to go through that. Mm-hmm. Like I said, your fear of letting your child grow up gotta be smaller than your fear of having this damn adult. You overcorrect. You always gonna help your kids. You always gonna do that, to the point that they want to be helped.
You can't let the fear of your kids growing up make mistakes paralyze you to letting them go and making those mistakes and learning, because when my children, I'm gonna talk about my children, they got on early. You know what I'm saying? I put them through military high school, got them on, got them out, and they had already started making adult choices by then. You get what I'm saying? They had already started making choices for themselves that they thought was proper for them by that time that they started graduating high school. So the only thing for me to do was let them go find out, because they were already making those choices. They were already doing things that I felt like were too old for, like my daughter having a child. I felt like that was too soon. She didn't feel like that. So now that you have this child, now you have to make a way for you and your child. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Not that I put them out on the street, threw them in the street, say get it going, but at the same time, we've talked about this. We made provisions for you, and you chose to do it the opposite way. So now, since you know better, you got to do better.
Was that frightening to let her go through that?
Of course. Yeah. Especially with a little girl, especially with your daughter. My daughter, I have 2 sons and a daughter. It's always frightening for me as a man to let my daughter do things a little bit more. And that is not fair. Don't get me wrong. A little bit more than my sons, but because it's my little girl. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She's a middle child. So it was like, but at the same time, you have already made this choice.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, Leia. Six Redbone said, great job, Will. Doing very well on camera. Better than most adults. Sorry, off subject. All right, Will. You say thanks. Just say thanks.
Thank you.
Just say thanks. Wait, we'll talk. Hey, wait. We'll talk about that off camera.
Okay.
But yeah. But I appreciate you sharing it, because that is one of them things, man. Honestly, when we as parents, we sit there and look at that is very frightening. It's very frightening. But those kind of things that I don't think people have those harsh conversations about.
And she has to account for that. She has to own up to her responsibility and be accountable for her actions that she chose to do. Yeah. It's still on the lines of accountability. We may be talking about children and growing up and being parents, but all these things are accountability issues. Because being a parent and raising your children, you always your child or your children, you always have accountability issues, not for just the children, but for yourself as the parent. And you always are questioning, did I do that right? Did I say that right? You know what I'm saying? Because you're always trying to guide them down the right path. But once they get to a certain age, they may take that fork in the road, even though you guide them straight. They may like, man, Daddy got me on this straight and narrow path. I want to see what this fork do and turn.
It was a culture shock for me with my oldest son, whereas I felt like and that taught me a lot for the other 3. Like I feel like, okay, I got you on this pathway. And then you bring up, like, I'm grown. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yes.
Shit. And I done made all these sacrifices and stuff. And now you grown. Okay, shit, we're going to have that. But it taught me something. At the end of the day, parents, I'm just being real with you. My children, all 4 of them, they've always been a priority of mine.
Right.
But my happiness comes first.
Right.
If anything that got to do with raising my kids conflicts with my happiness, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Their well-being is my priority. I make sure my kids straight and my nephew. Right. That's my priority. But if that shit conflicts with my happiness, it ain't going to get done.
Right.
And that's the thing about it, because at the end of the day, this young man going to be somebody's husband, father, leader, or whatever. And when that day comes, shit, he got to be ready.
Right.
And his way of doing things can be the polar opposite of my opinion on some things, right? Some of it may be kind of like on the same line from a fundamental standpoint.
Right.
Some of it, because he done grew up and become a man, it's going to be different.
Right.
I can't get caught up in that shit.
You got to let him have it.
Yeah, I whooped him. He may not whoop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and you know, I may be a little bit more vocal. He may just, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a right or wrong. It just hits the, no, watch out, man. You know,
it's just how it goes.
It just depends. So, and I gotta be honest with that, and I have to respect when William have children, I'll be granddaddy.
Right.
Hey, what your
100%.
daddy? What your daddy say? You gotta listen to your daddy. Hey, you know, and I might say, hey, son, you know, this stage that pop, stay out of it.
Right.
My bad, son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just how our relationship has to go with that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people, to me, overstep stuff even with their children, and they'll do that because it may be shortcomings. Now, your child may be totally damn off, you know, whatever. And I could get it, but at the end of the day, that's still how they are doing certain things.
Right.
You can just voice your opinion or whatever. Now, they still, especially if you taking care of them.
Especially.
You know, you have opinion. But if they out there doing their own thing, what can they say? I said that, I was talking about it a couple weeks ago. My two older boys on their own. Shit, don't call me for no money.
Right.
What I look like telling them what to do.
Right.
I might not like some stuff.
Right.
But they grown. But on the flip side, when you grown, you grown.
You gotta do grown stuff.
So when you start talking that, I do what I work. Okay, cool.
Right.
But when you come back to the OG, shit, I thought you were grown, man. Hey, you know, I ain't gonna rub it in your face, but we're gonna understand how you checked me before.
Right.
Everything. But we gotta understand that that's what we're going back to, that whole thing of accountability. Accountability. Let me ask you a question, bro. So how do you feel about, you know, just say, you know, with rule following and things like that? Do you feel like there are too many rules? You be like, okay, I kind of understand, I respect how things go. How do you feel about rules?
See, I respect it, but
talk to it.
See, I will respect it, but I think with rules, I think some things can be out of line or can be exaggerated, or I'm trying to think of the word, too much, or it's just
not necessary.
Yeah, not necessary and stuff.
Do you think some rules don't need to be rules because they're kind of self-explanatory?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me an example.
At school, they said that we gotta put they say that we gotta put our phones in our lockers and everything. And then with girls, they gotta put their purses in their locker too and everything. And people didn't like that because, you know, they need that, you know. For me, I like it just for protection and stuff. Cause if I need to call somebody, I can just do it right here on my phone. But it's in a locker, and so then you gotta ask people to go to your locker just to do that.
Yeah.
Just,
do you get why they say that though?
Yeah.
Because it may be a safety issue for you, but for other people, because we talked about this earlier, people do things differently as humans. For other people, it may be great to just have their phone to play on while they're in class. You know what I'm saying? Like, play games, be on social media, doing things that they're not supposed to do when they're in class to pay attention to get that lesson that needs to be got. You get what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying. A lot of times we give rules, and you can chime in on here, Putri. We give rules not because we want to hurt you, because we want to make sure, for one, you get what needs to be gotten so you can learn, or to protect you. You can have rules to protect you as well. Like, some things are self-explanatory, but it's still going to be a rule. Like, you know not to walk in the middle of traffic, but it's still going to be like, hey, don't walk in the street. You get what I'm saying?
And a lot of things are created for the simple reason that they have been a problem. Because, you know, we was at the school, the high school, we say at least 4 or 5 times, the young men we talking, hey, man, put your damn phone up, we talking. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things were done. Folks will be texting, looking at different stuff. So a lot of things are in place, not necessarily to be overbearing. It's because trial and error, when sometimes people give you certain freedoms, people misuse them. And you can be totally disciplined and don't do that, but there's other people that, you know, they couldn't.
One bad apple spoils the bunch.
Exactly. That's why in a lot of work settings, it's restricted what you can go on the internet.
On the work.
And these are people 40, 50, 60 years old. They can't go on social because the The job internet won't let them because why? People abuse it.
Right.
They're on Facebook. They're on Pornhub. They're on Instagram. Well, they supposed to be at work, right? So that's why it's restricted because people have done certain things, whatever. So that's not a youth thing. A lot of that stuff in place for a lot of people. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why you got to sit and do it. That's why. Huh? Yeah, I mean, all jobs
like that.
Yeah,
my job that. I can't go. It's a blocked.
Yeah, so when they try to go put in the computer and go on something else, it'll stop it because people will sit there. It's restricted with doing it,
and it gives and certain websites give you viruses.
Yeah.
On then they'd be on the whole network. Yeah, and they got to shut the whole network down. Then they got to, you know what I'm saying? Then we all can't do no work because one person wanted to do the wrong thing with the freedom that they had.
You can't count on that. That's why even when you go in certain places, phone access is restricted because they may have little blockers in place to restrict certain things. So it's not a kid thing. A lot of times people, because of that, they a lot of those things are put in place because people have misused or done certain things they shouldn't be doing to create those rules, right? Those things, man, in the perfect world, you expect people to be super courteous, right? But that's why you got four-way stop signs because everybody gonna let the first person get there, right? So those kind of things in place for that. That makes sense, and that's why we have rules. Rules in essence, some may be overstepping, but the main reason one thing with rules is just keep order,
right? And
everybody can't handle order. You know what I'm saying? And without order, we have what? We have chaos,
anarchy.
Yeah,
and I was anarchy when I was 13. I'm telling you this because I want to understand how things can change. I was pure. I'm speaking from experience, so that's why I'm telling you. I was pure anarchy. I was on the side of anarchy when I was a child. I'm not gonna sauce over it. I was pure anarchy. When you saw me coming, you saw trouble. It was something finna happen, not fighting or anything or stealing. I didn't do any of that stealing or nothing. No, It was just me being I was so just not listening. I don't know what to call it, and I'm not trying to give you bad ideas. These are bad ideas. I'm telling you, bad. But
blah.
Right, I was terror. I was a terror. I was like, I was riding the kids. I'm gonna give you one good example. I was riding the kids' bike in my neighborhood, and I was riding it, and I had given them like $5 to ride, and I was like, "Let me ride your bike to the store." Rode the bike to the store, and I rode around. I didn't see him, so I tried to give it back to him. So I rode around. So then he got huffy and puffy with me. Oh, give my bike. You been riding my bike all day. So I lifted up the sewer lid and put the bike in the sewer. Closed the lid and walked away. Okay.
Open the sewer.
There's ways to open the sewer when you really want to do something. And I put the whole bike down the sewer.
That's
that's a description.
One time, somebody in a different team had swung on the officer in the hallway. Because I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, it was like Spirit Week and everything. It was Spirit Week, and people was just wearing whatever clothing and stuff. And like one of the principals, St. Dr. Brown, was just walking down the hallway, telling everybody that they need to go to the closet and change clothing. And I guess somebody in the other team had got mad, and they just swung at the officer, and they had to like put her in handcuffs and like drag her down the hallway and everything. Yeah.
Do you think kids in your school have a lot of stress? Do you think school's stressful? Do you think school's stressful?
It is.
From a child's standpoint, is it stressful?
It's horrible to me.
So is it stressful because you got police there all the time, or because the teachers are a certain way and the kids, because you have so many elements that can add to making your day bad?
I could say just waking up in the morning and stuff and just going to school. I actually know. I think most of it is just me waking up in the morning tired and stuff. Then you gotta go to school. Then my class is very annoying. Like they're like most times we get in trouble is because of one or two people talking too much. And
then the whole class be in trouble.
Yeah, my classmate, he has like ISS for like a whole week and stuff. Like a whole week. Because he kept going to the library and he kept missing ISS and everything.
Well, Rika asks, how do you feel about police being in your school, William?
How do I feel about? I mean, I don't know. See, I think there was like a police officer in elementary school, but they didn't really do anything. But see, I didn't know what they could really do until this year, until like when the officers had started like cuffing people up, not cuffing people up, but like dragging them down the hallway and stuff. Because and like a couple of days ago in the cafeteria, it was a sixth grader. It was like in the morning, and I guess they was just starting stuff one people in my class.
Right.
So when it came to like to lunch and everything, everybody was at the vending machines and stuff, and like the sixth grader was walking down to them and stuff. And one of the girls on the dance team was about to fight the girl and stuff, but they couldn't fight it unless she was gonna get kicked off the team and everything. So we sat at the lunchroom and we was sitting I was sitting at the table, and the people that was gonna fight the girl who was in my class had sat back down, and so then the girl had came to our tables and stuff, but my classmates had got up and stuff, and they was gonna fight the girl. And then the officer had came in from behind and just I don't know how you say it. It's like
yoked up.
Yeah.
Choked up with
you know when they put their arms behind their
he yoked up.
But they don't like actually cuff them. They just they did that and everything.
When stuff like that, let me ask you a question, will you? When stuff like that happens, and just say you might see one of your peers, might be a friend of yours, a classmate, however it is, do you feel like when they do stuff like that, do you think that they really understand? Because I'm assuming everybody 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, right? Do you think they really understand the consequences of the behavior they're taking, or they just not thinking? What do you think?
I think they know the consequences. I can't say
consequences.
Consequences. I think when it comes to like a moment, they don't think about it.
In the moment.
Yeah, in the moment.
And that usually come with maturity. A lot of times we actually understand consequences the older we get. And the reason why I asked you that, William, is because I'm pretty sure that you do things or whatever, but when you have when you might just say want to talk out or do certain things, what holds you back? Again, the night show we're talking about, does anyone have personal accountability? When you just say, if you say, okay, I might want to act the fool in class, we're just talking. What stops you from acting the fool?
Ooh, I don't know. Just because I don't know. Sometimes
I got nothing to do with me.
Sometimes I just don't want to be loud, like in school. Yeah, sometimes I just don't want to be like that one annoying person or just being loud. Like sometimes there are things that really get me mad and stuff, and I do tell the person to shut up and be quiet and stuff in my class because they really do be getting on my nerves and everything. But most times I try to stay quiet and not get into like dumb stuff. Like one time, I think it's yesterday or like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I guess like the same girl who got like took up by the officer in my class, she had like a pocket knife and stuff. And she did this last year and stuff because one of my classmates was looking at her bag.
Pretty busy young lady, I see.
Right. And they saw a pocket knife in her back and everything. He was like, "Is that a pocket knife?" And she got it to the office night. And then like this time, one of the girls in my one of the students in the second period or whatever have found the pocket knife again in the desk and everything, and people something like, "Oh, she was parent and everything."
But do you understand the whole point of it is just how something? Because theoretically, this is what I want you and I want young people all together. You don't have to be bad to get in trouble. You don't have to be bad to get in jail. It's people in jail or got in trouble because they made a bad decision. And at the end of the day, one of the biggest things we start talking about, anyone have personal accountability, understanding that your intent might not be to hurt or kill somebody or lose your job, because the result can be different. I might just want to get stuff off my chest to go talk to my supervisor. Now understanding that they took that away and they wrote me up and now I lost my job. Now I can't pay my car note, I can't pay my mortgage, my child got medication and stuff like that.
Right.
The result and the consequences may not be thought of. And so that's very important. The younger that you can understand that that can be the reaction or the cause by certain decisions. Even if your intent is not to be, let me get them back, let me get them off my chest. Sometimes we got to really, really think. And that go for all of us. And I shared that story one time And I checked, when I was at my Riverdale, I was going to my Riverdale office, get ready to sign the contract. Decent contract. And I was at that Dollar General, parked my car, I was backed in. Guy had his truck. He whipped in. It was raining real bad. But where he was driving, I swore he finna hit my car. But I'm sitting in my car and I'm honking the horn. He got out. Now the truck, I ain't tripping. The truck about to fall apart. Chitty, chitty, bang, bang. He get out, mother this, that, and that. I want to go hit your damn car. Stupid ass, stupid poochie. Wrote him when I butted my bad, man. Again, because I'm already mad he got out because, hey, man, my bad. I thought he hit my car. I ain't about to hit your car. I had to stop and think. Because at some point, he might have pulled a pistol. He could have just said something bad to me. I could have said something bad to him. You know how it could have escalated.
Right.
I don't know what on that man. I don't know what's on that man's mind. I don't know how he'll snap or whatever. But what I do know, I got some money waiting for me at my office.
Right.
What the hell I look like arguing with this dude?
Right.
I mean, his shit about to follow. And I'm not tripping about his truck.
Right.
But I got more important things to fry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Arguing with him in
the exactly.
Right.
And that's why I say sometimes knowing your triggers, don't put yourself in certain situations. Your intent was somebody was thing, and it happens a lot. People get killed over minor arguments and stuff like that because they just can't turn the other way. Man, ain't got time for this shit. And that's one of the ultimate signs of maturity, when you can walk away, when you don't pay attention to some people. Because we talk, what you go through as a young man and what I go through as a man, all this stuff, it may be different degrees, but we gotta understand that we can determine how much of an impact we let son go on. I ain't like that dude speaking like that to me. But I got money to make. I ain't got time for that shit because everybody would say the same thing. If that man would have shot me out there in the parking lot or whatever, what everybody would say? What the hell put you arguing to do out there in the parking lot for? Not, man, he bought that pooch. Right. He bought that pooch. Why the everybody gonna say the same damn thing? What the hell is pooch arguing with somebody in the damn Dollar General parking lot? That's what everybody gonna say, right? There is no other way around it, right? Everybody gonna be stuck on that. I know I got to take care of you, your brothers, and all that shit. Why the hell am I arguing with somebody at Dollar General? Right. Now I know he booked it. I know he said something out of pocket to me. But I'm the one that's in control of that. And like I said, that's one of the biggest signs of anybody for their maturation. You got to know, look, I got more important stuff to do. Got to know how to turn the other cheek.
Let me say one thing, LaChana. She says, I agree to keep order, just like policies are created to protect us on the jobs. Follow rules, policies. You will need to have to. You will not need to second guess yourself.
Yeah.
To follow rules and policies, you will not need to second guess yourself. So that's what LaChana says.
Cool. Appreciate it, Tom.
But can I say something too? I had this experience last year, my 6th grade year. This one time I was in a bathroom because I needed to use it. So when I was in the bathroom, most of the people in my class were like knocking and kicking this dude who was using one of the stalls. So when he got out, I was like almost like close to the door and stuff. When he got out, he was all mad and stuff, huffing and puffing. And all the people in my class was like pointing at me, saying I did it, but I didn't even do nothing.
Right.
All I had to do was to use the restroom.
Right.
So he started walking towards me. I started hurriedly like trying to get out the bathroom. He pulls my hoodie. Everybody's like getting mad. I was trying to be loud, trying to make me fight the guy and stuff. But I felt like fighting with him because I needed to use the restroom. I wasn't trying to do all of that.
Right.
But then I didn't want to fight him, so I was yelling at him. So I didn't even do nothing. Can you just get off my hoodie and stuff? That's all happened. But that really just messed with me that whole year. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an example when I was in school. Now we talked about how much of a terror I was, but in school I was not a terror. Because I knew the difference. I knew better. I'm gonna give you when I went to summer school when I was young, because in Chicago at that time, a long time ago, summer school was free in Chicago. So I went to summer school, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I say it all the time. I went to summer school to eat. You get breakfast and lunch at summer school 8 to 12. You go to school 8 to 12. You get breakfast. So, but once I started going to class, and I learned that I was getting credits for those classes that I was taking, I was signed up for like math and reading, stuff like that, history, just so I could be in the class, just so I could be in summer school. And I was doing this every year, every summer. I would do this 8 to 12, 8 to 12, 8 to 12, every summer. And once I learned that I was going in there and I was getting credit, see, my intention wasn't to go to school and get credits. My intention was to go to school to eat.
What is the credit?
That's like, you getting credit for the course, for the class. So like when school started back that year, I didn't necessarily have to take that class because I had already took it during summer school. But then I had so many credits after a certain amount of time that I graduated high school early. So, but once I learned that, that's when I said, okay, let me go ahead and do this and do it right and take accountability for it. But that wasn't my intent. Like your dad was saying, your intent may not to be to hurt someone, but that wasn't my intent initially, to go to school to get credits. I was just going to school to eat because lunch was free, and all I had to do was sign up for it. Breakfast was free, donut and milk, and your lunch. That's all I was going to school for. And most of the time was pizza. So I love high school and elementary school pizza. So if I'm getting that free all summer, why not? So I was doing it all summer until and I still did it, but I did it with intent now. My intent was to get these credits because I know I'm seeing how much better I'm doing once I do that. You get what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And I never messed up in school. Like once I crossed over the threshold of the school building, my whole demeanor changed. I listened to the teachers. I did what I was supposed to do. I didn't fight in class. I mean, but once I stepped on the threshold back outside, trouble has arrived.
Yeah. That's what's up. We got what did D. Gill says, mess on the way to progress. I believe in the name of Christ. Okay. I don't know that we're talking about the show. But I do want to say one quick thing to add to your point. Like you said, that mess with you. A lot of times when we avoid conflict, like I'm sharing this story with you, this shit about 5 or 6 years ago. I'm just listen what I'm about to say. That still bothers me that I avoided that because I got a temper. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? But so I just want to say that to you. But at the end of the day, the most important thing, you was able to be a bigger man, being able to avoid conflict because you don't know how stuff gonna happen. But I don't know what would have happened if I sat down and argued with that dude. That doesn't mean that don't bother me to this day. You see them damn talk about, I can remember this shit vividly. You understand what I'm saying? So that does happen. Just because we do, it does not mean, I say this to say, doing the right thing is not going to impact you in a way that it hurts you or bothers you. You know what I'm saying? Being the bigger man, sometimes, it will sting. Like, damn, man, that shit bothered me the whole year and everything like that, and everything. But I'm saying years later, that shit, we're doing it. But sometimes that's just part of being and doing certain things because, in the grand scheme of things, you don't want to damage certain things, i.e. you get in certain trouble, getting reputation or whatever we're doing and stuff like that. But then sometimes you have to address certain things. But as you get older, as we all get older and get more mature, we understand, like, look here, let me just try to, especially you can see the onset, and I understand what you're saying. I was trying to get out this, that, and that, but you look with the onset of it, let me just avoid this before it stops. And I think that's one of the biggest ways we start looking at personal accountability. We about to say something, bro?
Okay. So after all of that stuff what happened in the bathroom, I was outside, and I'm not gonna lie, I was crying a little bit because that kind of hurt my feelings and stuff. And I was outside. The teacher comes out, my science teacher. She was like, "Why you outside crying?" I'm like, "Because," and I told her everything. She's like, "Oh, I thought you would have sleep in class and everything." I'm like, "Man, you really just went outside and told me that I went to sleep?" that messed with me. That still messed with me, and she was really mean.
Do you think teachers, and this is just your opinion, do you think teachers have any compassion for the children, for the teachers because when I was growing up, teachers seemed to have a little bit of compassion. And we've talked to many children on this on here, and it seems like the teachers just don't have the compassion that they used to have. It's because there's so many kids, so many different personalities they have to deal with on a daily basis, or what? I mean, in your opinion, not that you're saying it for word, in your opinion. Because you had said where two teachers have.
Yeah, I could say I have more better teachers in my elementary school year than I have in middle school because last year was really rough for me and stuff. because most of the teachers they didn't seem like for what can I say in my view,
your opinion.
So like in ELA math and stuff, I felt like my teachers didn't care. I was just there and stuff, and like I knew they was trying to like not make me feel like class and school and stuff, but it still felt like see me. How do I explain it? It just felt like that. I was just there. No, okay, I'm
you just
sorry.
filling the seat.
Yeah, I'm just there just to get
for me credit for you being in class.
Yeah, I see me like I know they had like
quotas.
I'm trying to think. They did have compassion for me not failing class and stuff. Like most of my teachers, they wanted me to like pass school and stuff and everything. Because in 5th grade, it was like, oh, you could sleep in class and stuff. They ain't gonna do nothing about it. They just gonna let you sleep. As soon as I got in middle school, every single day, the teacher was getting mad at me, yelling at me, saying I was going to sleep and stuff. But I'm like, in 5th grade, people was like, they don't be doing nothing. They don't do stuff. And I was like,
so
okay.
It's a transition. It's a transition from middle to from elementary school to middle school that you were having trouble with last year.
Yeah, that's a big transition.
So what about this year?
I'm a lot better. I have friends now, so that's good.
So, but do you feel like the teachers are better now that you kind of adjusted?
Yeah, a lot better.
Okay.
I think it's got good teachers.
Well, also too though, your viewpoint when you look back at it, when you turn 14, 15, 16, even older, you might like, well, maybe you may adjust with that because again, you may know a couple more things. Like, man, they did have a lot of crazy kids deal with. Man, they may have, just saying.
Yeah, I meant to say that too. Like last year, oh my god, last year we had a lot of fights in 6th grade. Once it was this fight and stuff. We was at lunch. The dude had not jump. What's that word again? When you like when a person not looking and you just hit them.
You stole on.
Yeah, something like that. But it's never
sucker punched them.
I got the word called, but the dude
had coming up with called. He got stolen on.
Yeah, so yeah, he got stolen on and stuff. So he wasn't looking. He was just eating. He was by himself. The dude, like he was. This person named Cardell. He was like, oh, sorry. Oops, sorry. Too bad. He was. So the dude, the boy was sitting right there on the table, and he had like he wasn't. He didn't know he was right there, and he just boom hit him in the back of the head and stuff. And they started fighting real bad. Like they moved the whole table and stuff. The teacher's trying to break it up. It was real bad. Like 6th grade was a lot worse. Like yeah, just a lot of fights 6th grade.
Listen, man. So I do want to say this. We're gonna get ready to wrap everything up, man. Been a great conversation with everything. Again,
I like talking to better than I like talking to you.
Yeah, man. That's my dog. I like. Hey, we a very, very bright person. I do want to say something, brother. I appreciate you joining the conversation tonight.
That's right.
Super proud of you right here.
See how you a nerd for no reason.
Hey, you did an outstanding job and everything. And but I do in part in closing with the show. I hope we had a good conversation in regards to everybody being, young people, adults, the like. In regards to just having personal accountability, because I do think it's a trait that a lot of people don't have. That can start off as a youth and sprint off into adulthood, and you see some of the results of it. Definitely in our community that has been one of the main results. But a lot of people not having personal accountability, and a lot of people not helping to try to instill personal accountability in their children. And I know it's a lot of parents out here teach their kids the right thing to do, and the kids gonna still do what the hell they want to do.
Right.
Trust me, I know that. But I do think avoiding a lot of stuff does cause conflict too. So listen, guys, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Brother, again, I appreciate you coming on the show, adding to the conversation. First time, and I definitely know it ain't gonna be the last because you got a little comfortable with it. I know you had a good time on the mic.
That's right.
But definitely, guys, make sure you go to Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got another show before the end of the year and everything. We'll talk about our next show, just our annual goal setting show, where I break down exactly, going into 2024, how to set the goals, how to set your goals for 2024, how to set them, how to attain them, track them, and everything, and make sure that you have the best 2024 possible. Listen, guys, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thanks again. Take care of yourself, be safe, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you.